good afternoon. Welcome to JoyNews Today. We're coming to you live from our studios in Kokomlimle. We're on DTT because we're free to on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 125. Joy News, your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, retired superintendent of police calls on the police service to improve on its rapport with the public. It comes as CHRAJ charges the police service to be mindful of the country's human rights obligations towards its citizens by developing guidelines in managing protests. We have details of a letter from the Commission to the IGP days after reported police arrest of protesters of Akuf-Addo Lobby House. Also, Korle Teaching Hospital backtracks on its announced increase in the cost of renal dialysis from 380 cedis to 765 cedis after public backlash. Details, as it says, until Parliament approves its granted its costs, the old cost of treatment will be maintained. We'll hear from the CEO. Plus, potholes riddled Tema Accra stretch of the motorway leaves commuters in a never-ending gridlock. We'll hear from frustrations of drivers and other motorists as we monitor the situation there. Well, business, sports, a showbiz, well news, all coming up this hour. We're also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X on JoyNews on TV. My personal handle is @BenanaAisha. Please stay for details. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice has charged the Ghana Police Service to be mindful of the country's human rights obligations towards its citizens. It is part of a number of recommendations contained in a letter written to the IGP following reports of alleged police brutalities and unlawful arrests of some individuals who participated in last week's Akuf-Addo Lobby House protest. The protest, which was organized by the pressure group Democracy Hub and Fix the Country Coalition, attracted a mix of Ghanaians from all classes of social status, demanding an end to alleged corruption in government and also prevailing economic hardships. The three-day protest saw the arrest and detention of some protesters for pushing to assembly in front of the Jubilee House, which, according to the police, is a security zone. The incident triggered public anger and condemnation. In its letter to the police service in condemnation of developments so far, CHRAJ is also recommending, among other things, the development of a guideline to manage protests while upholding human rights standards at all times. Let's take a look at the following slides for the full details of the letter from CHRAJ to the IGP. And in its recommendations, it says the Ministry of Interior, the Inspector General of Police and National Security must be mindful of Ghana's human rights obligations towards its citizens. The appreciation of this obligation will inform decisions in striking a good balance between all legitimate competing interests. Now, developing guidelines where none exist for managing protests, which incorporates human rights standards for the use by law enforcement officials, particularly the police. It goes on to say refresher courses on human rights law and other relevant UN and AU standards governing the operations of law enforcement agencies must be done, and in situations of deadlock between law enforcement and protesters, the decision to resort to the court to injunct the exercise of the rights must be done in a manner which affords protesters the opportunity to challenge the decision in the court of law. It says police and other law enforcement officials must endeavor to build rapport between them and protesters as citizens and not as troublemakers to achieve an incident-free protest. Law enforcement agencies in all their considerations must facilitate the realization of the freedom of assembly and other protected rights unless restrictions are reasonably necessary in a democratic society. Well, a retired superintendent of police, Peter Lanshin Tobu, says the police service have no choice but to abide by international standards in managing protests and the use of force. Speaking on Newsdesk, Mr. Tobu said it's unacceptable for the police to be back and forth in fostering a smooth relationship with the citizens, adding a lot needs to be done to improve this relationship.
Police-public relation is as old as the institution of marriage. What is the relationship between the husband and wife? It's nice today, tomorrow it's not good enough. It goes sour and comes back. But it is police-public relation is supposed to be a concept that will have to constantly work on. Nobody will say it is good today and tomorrow it goes back and you'll be challenged. It is a concept that needs constant appreciation. It is a concept that needs the collective effort of all of us.
But shouldn't you be worried if we're going back and forth? We can only improve and move forward rather than go back one step forward and 2 steps backwards.
We are in a democracy and we expect that we should be progressing. And in fact, as you rightly put it, we should be improving, we should be getting better. So I expect that police-public relations in the year 2023 comparatively should be better than when we started in 1993. Of course, 30 years down the line, we should see great strides. And you see, we've improved upon this over the years, and that's of a sudden they brought in what we call community engagement or community policing. Community policing is let the public know if the police officer is your friend. Your son is a police officer, one of your daughters is a police officer, your grandson probably is a police officer. You have a police officer, of course, in your family. So the police cannot be an enemy, and no state will pay enemies to deal with its own citizens. The police are supposed to be your friends, ensuring that they enjoy security. So I will agree with you that we need to be doing better in the area of police-public relations.
The Kalebo Teaching Hospital has backtracked on its intended increase in the cost of renal dialysis from 380 to 765 cedis after public backlash. The hospital says the price review proposal presented by the renal dialysis unit is yet to receive consideration and approval by management of the hospital. Speaking on Joy FM's Super Morning Show today, CEO of the hospital, Dr. Akuf-Addo, said the hospital had not checked the necessary boxes in the approval process prior to its announcement of the new cost of treatment. Allaying fears of patients who are dependent on the renal dialysis unit for treatment, Dr. Opoku said the old cost will be maintained until that time it secures parliamentary approval for the new charges.
So that this is a proposal that was still at the department level, had not even come up to central management. But unfortunately, there was a jumping of the gun, and a notice was put up, which, of course, in these days of social media, it even went viral before. And then that's where we are. But the fact is that it hadn't come to a level where even management had even considered and reviewed it. And that is what we are doing at the moment.
But Doc, what are the facts of the matter in terms of what Salifu said to JoyNews by way of justification? There are some taxes that have been taken out. Government is no longer.
So that was also more or less a misrepresentation of the facts. What happens is that these items are usually shipped in from abroad, and so once the bill of lading is received, we have a process that we go through to the Ministry of Finance, through the Ministry of Health, to get a waiver of the taxes and duties on the goods. But then even these taxes and duties are not the main component of the cost, because they have just a small fraction of the cost or input cost, and so usually we have that leeway. But in this particular instance, what happened was that there had been some contractual issues with the supplier, and so whilst we engaged in the trying to refine the contract and iron out the areas of misunderstanding, there was some shortage of renal consumables. So we had to more or less cut back on the service a bit, and so that we can focus on the inpatients and emergencies, and we asked the outpatients to utilize the other services in the city whilst we get this sorted. And so when this was sorted out, the consumables were airlifted in, and so we wanted to clear them quickly. So we didn't assess the waiver spend because it was going to take time, and then if we did that, we were going to incur demurrage. So we looked at the cost benefits that if we incurred the demurrage that we're going to pay was actually going to offset whatever advantage we're going to get from the waiver. So the management decided to absorb the cost.
So when your hospital spokesperson said that the renal unit will have to shut down its dialysis service if these prices are not increased, that was also incorrect information?
In the long term, definitely there has to be some adjustment in the prices, because we buy these items in use. So definitely, even if you just look at the exchange rate alone, that would necessitate some adjustment in the in the prices. So that is why we go to a place where we critically review whatever justification is being given for an increase, because we know the burden on renal patients. So we do not just want to pass on any actual cost. In fact, it's happened before where we've management has decided to absorb certain costs on their behalf because of the condition. So we are quite sensitive to the plight of renal patients. That's why we continue to engage other stakeholders, philanthropists, to come in and help to subsidize the cost of.
The Ghana Scholarship Secretariat says it is overwhelmed with the increasing reports of fraudulent schemes aimed at duping persons in search of scholarship grants. Registrar of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, Kingsley Ajaman, in an interview with Blessed Soga, noted with worry the use of online platforms, especially social media, to fraudulently award scholarships in the name of his organization. In view of this, the website of the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat has been blocked by National Information Technology Agency, pending some changes in security features.
In the era of social media, where people do all sorts of things to attract unsuspecting victims, it provides a challenge. We have had a very, very hard hit at this, where our main scholarship domain itself, the Ghana Scholarship Secretariat.com, has been taken off because hacked? Yes, not hacked. Okay. Because certain individuals were using it to scam unsuspecting Ghanaians. There was a lot of reports which we initiated by ourselves, so they had to take it away from us.
Modus that these unsuspecting individuals, deploy to swindle, the numbers that you're talking about?
It's several. And fraudsters will always be steps ahead of you, because our preoccupation is not to chase fraudsters, but they employ the social media too. Okay. That's the online, where they've created LinkedIn accounts in my name, they've created Twitter accounts in my name, and they're able to, every activity that we get involved in, they're able to put pictures and videos there to portray to unsuspecting victims that it is indeed your account. My account, or the account of the Scholarship Secretariat, which is not true. We've reported it severally through the newspapers, through our website, the .org. Yeah. We have reported, but there's something I think fundamentally wrong with our culture and that of the Ghanaians.
Meanwhile, the Scholarship Secretariat says it may not be able to process new scholarship applications if the Ministry of Finance fails to approve its request for a new funding framework for the scheme. The Secretariat argues that the pre-existing beneficiaries of the scholarship have saturated the budget of the scheme, hence the need for a new source of funding. Kingsley Ajaman explains why.
How do you say somebody has come to decentralized scholarship and still think that that person is promoting chronism and skewness? I mean, especially when you are hearing it from high-ranking people, parliamentarians, even our party people, my party brought me here, and even the opposition. It kind of beats my imagination. I've set up a district scholarship review committee for local scholarship, which has the district chief executive, the member of parliament or his or her rep, a member from the traditional authority that is dominant within the district, 2 people from our office here, and a rep from a tertiary institution or a GES district at the district level to do some form of assessment or validation before it comes to us. And you are attacking me of nepotism. I come from the Eastern region. I come from Chebi. If somebody, there's a name that comes from the disassembly in Gonja or Elembele. Do I have relatives in Elembele? I don't have my family people coming from Elembele. I don't have them coming from Ashanti region. I'm from the Eastern region. I'm from Chebi.
Away from that, the never-ending gridlock on the Accra-bound stretch of the motorway has compelled two ride-hailing drivers, Kojo Asante and Emmanuel Boateng, to forfeit their daily sales by volunteering to patch the numerous potholes on the expressway near the Lakpakla Bridge. JoyNews' visit to the stretch this morning revealed a long, winding gridlock spanning over 5 kilometers from the Ajay Kojo underpass onto the Lakpakla Bridge. Listen to Kojo Asante speaking to JoyNews.
This road every day, every night, but the traffic is too much. So I volunteered myself to come and do it. It's not me only. I just parked my car over here, me and my friend. We volunteer ourselves to come and do this. Instead of a road and highway should come and do it, they are not doing it, so we just volunteer ourselves to come and do it. That's what motivates me. It's very dangerous. Maybe if you don't know, you are a newcomer on this road and you are speeding, immediately you just get accident or you burst your tire. Even right now, somebody burst his tires here right now, just fix it. So it's very, very dangerous. If you don't know the road well, you'll get accidents. I'm Uber driver, and the car is not mine, it's for someone. But I decided to park and do it for those who are using the road to get access to go fast, and they should go their various places. Please, the Ghana Highway should do something about this road because it's very, very terrible. And the way the road is busy, if they see any fault or something, they should do it fast. And we are also using the road. We should use the road fine and nice. To be honest with you, you can spend more than 1 hour. It depends the times. You see, today's Thursday is market day at Ashaman. So people are using the road. The road is busy. And from Ashaman overhead to this stretch here, you can spend like 1 hour before you pass here to Accra. So the hours is so worrying us. That's why I volunteered myself to come and do it. I don't need anybody money. If you give me, fine. If you didn't give me, I don't care. So that's why I'm here.
Meanwhile, two drivers volunteering to fill the potholes on the highway this morning have been stopped by the police. Carlos Coloni has been engaging them.
Our place, we are working over here. We want to work from today up to next week. So we want to help the nation. And we are here. We see a patrol team over here. They are from Tema. We don't know them. They just came here that we should move our things to leave the site. So we are very, very disappointed. We don't understand how they came here to, sack us from the site. So we are very, very disappointed. We are disappointed that the police people. We don't know.
Earlier you were telling me your plan was to do this for a number of days. Now that they're asking you to go, are you going to come back again?
I don't know. I don't know. The way we just volunteer ourselves to come and do this work, and they have to appreciate what we are doing. And you just came here to sack us. So like the way I have the vim and other things, you let my vim go down maybe tomorrow or the next day. If I came here, the same people came here to come and sack me. I don't know what's going to happen the next day or something.
If something is going bad in the country and we civilians or we individuals, we need to help. Why police should come and stop us to stop the work we are doing? I think it's very bad. So all of the Ghanaians should see that what we have been doing, is it bad? We are not stealers. We are not stealing anything. We use our energy to help our president in Ghana. We need to help him because if you didn't help me, he alone cannot do it. But we wake up this morning to help people on the road, and the police people came, the police patrol. We don't know where they are coming from. Either Tema or Accra, we don't know. They came to stop us. We should stop doing the work. We should take our things from the site and live here. We don't know, and we can't fight with them. So we just stop.
Let's do some politics. Alan Kyerematen's resignation from the NPP is now a settled issue, having dominated news coverage and public discussions in recent times. However, what has been the fallout from this decision to leave the NPP and become Ghana's latest independent candidate? In this report, Joy News contributor Eche Sekanku presents a situational analysis of Alan Kyerematen's resignation and gauges the overall reaction and impact.
Euphoria, disappointment, surprise, and acceptance. Mr. Kyerematen has had his say, but how have key players been reacting to one of the biggest political developments in Ghana's history? Who is still with him? Who is out? And what has the overall reaction been? Honorable Catherine Afeku, a former ally of Mr. Kyerematen, says her allegiance remains with the MPP.
I am still a member of the New Patriotic Party, a dues-paying member, up to date, and actually a full communicator for the New Patriotic Party. So I am a loyal patriot, and I'm in the party.
Honorable Afeku is not the only one in this category. Deputy Finance Minister Abna Ose Asare has stated that while she enjoys a great relationship with Mr. Alan Kyerematen, she is unable to join him in his independent candidature bid. A number of MPs and former MPs have also registered their allegiance to the NPP than join Mr. Alan Kyerematen in his breakaway movement. They include Honorable Collins Owusu-Amankwa, former MP for Mensah North, and Honorable Davis Ansaupoku, MP for Mpraeso. The NPP has also officially reacted to Mr. Kyerematen's departure from their fold.
We respect his decision and extend our gratitude for the services rendered to the NPP and Mother Ghana. Since 1992, several party faithfuls have had the vision to lead the party and subsequently to lead the country. But sadly, as nature has its own course, only a few have had the opportunity to achieve that vision. Party faithfuls who never had the opportunity to lead never resigned from the party, but continued to serve, some until they were called to eternity.
However, Mr. Kojo Mpianim, a former chief of staff under the Akuf-Addo administration, long-time MPP member and an elder within the party, says while he does not support Alan leaving, he understands why he would do so.
I think it's unfortunate for the party that a thought like Alan would decide to leave the party at this time. It's getting very close to general election. You see, there have been problems with the party, except that those of us in the party are trying to behave like ostriches, not seeing what is in the party. I was not too much surprised about what happened, because I've been telling colleagues that the way the party is going, if we are not lucky, there's going to be a more serious upheaval in the future.
Mr. Kyerematen still has some noticeable personalities within his corner. They include former MP and minister under both the Kufuor and Akuf-Addo administrations, Honorable Boniface Siddiq, who has steadfastly stood by Alan, former Ashanti Regional Minister Mr. S.K. Boafo, former NPP Communications Director Yabuabe Samoa, and former NPP Secretary Nana Ninto.
If he calls me, I will do it. If he calls me, because I believe in that. I believe in it seriously.
While party officials and former party officials have been reacting to Alan's resignation, a member of the public also shared his opinion.
And he has also weighed the options that he's becoming irrelevant. So as a serious politician, I think that's the best thing to do. I noticed that a lot of people are actually criticizing him. But if they were to be in his shoe, I think we would have also taken such decisions.
It's early days yet since the watershed announcement by Mr. Chairman. These are some immediate reactions, but we can only wait and see how things unfold. Eche Sikanku, Joy News.
The New Patriotic Party in the Tema West constituency says it will fiercely resist any attempt by the opposition NDC to register non-constituents in the ongoing limited voter registration. This warning comes after the party accused the NDC of busing about 700 registrants to the center at Community 2 last Sunday. MPP chair for Tema West constituency, Kwesi Poku, disclosed this when president of Nyameye Suapem Foundation, Robert Suapem, visited the center to provide hot meals to support the exercise. Correspondent Kwame Yanka has more.
There is simmering tension between the New Patriotic Party (NPP) and the National Democratic Congress (NDC) in the ongoing limited voter registration exercise in the Tema West constituency, as the former accuses the latter of busing close to 700 non-constituents to register. NPP fears such moves could sway presidential and parliamentary results in favor of NDC in the 2024 general election. Tema West NPP chair Kwesi Poku Bosumpim says the NDC is desperate to win the seat in the area, but this can only remain a dream.
My argument is that people of Tema West should be able to decide who becomes their MP. You understand? You don't let people from outside decide for us. The original chairman was on air saying that Tema West, Ayawasu West. They've sat, he knows it in a meeting that Ashama has over 40,000 votes more than the MPP. So they want to pass them here. Not under my watch. That one I won't agree.
Away from that, when lack of hospital beds resulted in a delayed surgery for Rahel and Peter's son causing permanent disability, they channeled the situation into an avenue to help other parents and children. Their son, who is unable to walk now, is also part of the move. Here's the story by Hannah Odame.
I always go to church. I pray that one day I will walk.
9-year-old Cornelius Akuf-Addo, who loves to sing and play the keyboard, was born with a deformity. Diagnosed with spina bifida from birth, his parents got a shock when they were told their son may not be able to walk if a repair surgery was not done on him in the first 14 days of his life.
They came for assessment and they were telling us the surgery too, sometimes after doing it, it's either sometimes you will lose the lower limbs and other things, so it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy for both of us and the family, but we tried our best to trust and pray.
Spina bifida can happen anywhere along the spine if the neural tube does not close all the way. When this happens, the backbone that protects the spinal cord doesn't form and close as it should. Rahel Adom, mother of Cornelius and a nurse, read all about this illness and knew about the consequences, and so she quickly gathered the 3,000 cedis needed for the surgery before the ultimatum given by the doctors expired. But getting a bed at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital for the surgery became the bane. After waiting for a month, he had a blood infection which had to be treated first. When that was done and the repair surgery was about to be conducted, it was too late, and Cornelius was left with no luxury of walking. All the doctors could do was close the bulge at his back and a shunt placed in his skull to prevent his head from becoming enlarged, as well as to prevent fluid from retaining in his head.
At the end of the day, he survived, and I think from 6-7 months we have been going for reviews. And Cornelius was doing perfectly well because we were trusting God. So I think from day one after the surgery, we have been communicating to him. Before he will even be born, the father named him Cornelius. So I even speak to Cornelius, you are going to be great. Because Cornelius in the Bible was a great man. He was an army commander. So no matter whatever you are going through, you will survive.
After experiencing the dire circumstances under which parents with such situations face, Rahel and her husband founded the Challenged Children Foundation to aid children and parents alike.
We have the cerebral palsy, the autism, then disability to those who cannot walk, like Cornelius, yes. But the autism and cerebral palsy are more.
So how are you taking care of all of them?
By the grace of God. We manage. My husband and the family have to cut down our expenses and come down to help them. Sometimes I buy rice in bulk, we buy things in bulk, then we share for them. Sometimes I just, let's have a food bazaar or whatever. We cook, then they come around to eat, and we package out some for them. And my husband was so understandable when I told him that, why don't you set a foundation to help, so that when we legalize it, people will come on board. Probably where our strength cannot reach, with one family and friends, we can come together.
Usually, it is thought the fathers aren't that supportive when such incidences happen. But Peter Akuf-Addo, father of Cornelius, is different.
When he started sending him to VCO, it's only the women who bring the children. No man. But sometimes I go with them. So it is there that I realize that it is the women who are suffering, who are taking care of a child. All the men, you don't see them around.
So now that you have seen it, what have you got to tell them?
Oh, I'm telling the men that they don't have to abandon the children. It is not their fault. So they have to at least love them, do whatever they can to support them. Mm-hmm.
Cornelius, who desires to visit the Great Wall of China, says though his back always aches, he's grateful to his friends and family who always make him happy.
I did not know why I could not walk, so I decided to encourage myself by playing the keyboard. And I also decided to encourage others that if I can make it, all of the disability people can make it. And I believe that they can make it and make it well.
Say hello.
Rahel has dedicated her life to helping children with disability enjoy the good things of life. And Mr. Adum wants everyone to know that disability is not a curse.
It's not easy taking care of such children. It takes both the two. They have to be behind the women, support them, and then make sure that they will have a better life.
We give you glory, Lord, as we honor you.
Hannah Odami for Joy News.
You are worthy, oh Lord.
KGL Foundation, a corporate social responsibility arm of KGL Group, says it will launch an interactive mental health internet platform, Mental Health Index. The platform, which aims to be one-stop shop for psychiatrists and individuals to seek medical guidance, medication and statistics on mental health cases in the country. Speaking at a fundraiser to assist in its implementation, Foundation Director of KGL Foundation, Akuf-Addo, says the platform is beneficial for the development. There's more in this report.
In Ghana, there have been efforts by the government to improve mental health care services at all levels. However, significant gaps remain, with only about 2% of Ghana's 2.3 million people living with mental health conditions receiving psychiatric treatment and support from health facilities, according to WHO. Looking at a fundraiser of the Mental Health Index app, Chief Executive Officer of KGL Foundation, Akuf-Addo, has reiterated the need for the institution of better policies and frameworks in mental health care, adding that the implementation of Mental Health Index platform will help reduce and ease reliance on the overburdened service personnel and medications.
Mental health care in this country, in this continent, has long been overlooked. And we are starting the conversation here today so that this can change. We believe our app, Mental Health Index, or MHI, is the first step to making this change. MHI works with a pool of talent from medical, psychological, and social fields to ensure individuals have the best resources for guidance and support in everyday endeavors. MHI seeks to provide a holistic assessment of mental well-being by combining important factors like the frequency of mental health illness, access to resources, societal stigma, and psychological well-being indicators. The index aims to offer insightful data for well-informed decision-making using a robust methodology incorporating surveys and data analytics.
And on that note, let's take a breather on Joy News Today. When we return, there's everything you need to know in the world of business.
Hello, welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojobaka. As part of measures to provide seamless service delivery to all its customers across the world, Access Bank PLC has launched the U-Universe campaign. According to the bank, the campaign will provide corporate entities and traders opportunities to use products of the bank in different countries. There is more in this report. According to Access Bank, it has presence across 17 countries, including UK, UAE, China, India, and Lebanon, in 3 continents, including Africa, Asia, and Europe. This, the bank says, makes it easy to implement the U-Universe campaign successfully. James Bruce is the Executive Director, Wholesale Banking at Access Bank Ghana.
Universe to our customers means that once you have a relationship with us as a customer, wherever we have a presence, which in this case over 700 locations and 15 countries in Africa and the Middle East, we treat you as one customer. So you become a one bank name across the 17 countries. Our footprint, I think Pearl has alluded to it already. All our corporate customers and our commercial banking customers also enjoy the benefits of that. We have also established partnerships with the Development Bank of Ghana to be able to find cheap financing, with Ecowas Bank for International Development. We're also doing partnerships with Ghana Export Promotion Authority and also with Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana, just to elicit the number of partnerships that we're going to do.
On her part, the Executive Director for Retail and Digital Banking at Access Bank Ghana, Pearl Nkrumah, explains the reasons behind the campaign.
This is what we stand for, and we want to reaffirm, and by doing that, we are also challenging our customers to hold us accountable. Our business is in the business of making promise that this is what we want to give to you in terms of how we want to deliver our service to you, in terms of how we want to, the solutions that we bring on timely basis to solve the real problems of our clients, and ensuring that this relationship, we continue to make it a good, a fruitful relationship by listening to our clients.
To serve their varied customer base across different cultures and languages, the bank says it has specialized desks that are abreast with the nuances of trade among French, German, Chinese, and Lebanese. One of the leading real estate developers, Lakeside Estate, has launched its new lifestyle community, Lakeside Hills, aimed at providing comfortable living experiences for families and individuals. According to the managing director of the estate, Dr. Prince Joseph Ayiku, the new project will provide more employment opportunities for the youth and also lead to the improvement of roads in the area. He was speaking at the launch of Lakeside Hills housing project.
Lakeside Estate, under its Lakeside Hills project, has built over 200 homes under the first phase of the project. Expected to house over 5,000 homes when completed, the Lakeside Hills project will also include a sports complex and commercial shopping areas. In an interview, Managing Director of the estate, Dr. Prince Joseph Ayiku, said the new project will provide the youth with more employable opportunities.
We are building all kinds of houses, ranging from 2-bedroom to 4-bedroom. For those who are looking for houses ranging from 2-bedroom, the place to be is Lakeside Estate. The environment is secure, is safe, with a lot of green technologies. We have parks that absorbs heat in the environment. Most of the houses in this community are powered with solar. When it comes to, let's say, employment, we have employed several people in this area. For instance, we have employed a lot of skilled laborers, a lot of artisans who are working for us. In terms of infrastructure, we have built good roads. You can see when you are driving to community, the hills, the roads are first-class roads. The drains are good.
Executive Secretary of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association, GREDA, Sami Amegaibo, urged government to create an enabling environment for private housing entities to thrive and provide affordable housing for Ghanaians.
You see this beautiful estate done by a local entity, Lakeside. It goes to tell you that we have the capacity
it is only some minimal support. Then you look at their price points, compare it to so-called government affordable housing prices, and you are amazed the difference between what government-assisted projects are delivering and individual companies without any support at all from government are delivering. And yet we say we can't deliver houses. The only thing that is missing is commitment. Commitment is completely missing. There's too many lip service from our state, our government in succession. I will not blame this current government alone. I'll blame the previous one. I'll blame the Fourth Republic government's arrangement has been very terrible when it comes to affordable housing delivery. And it is time they sit up.
Guest Speaker and Chief Executive of the Chartered Institute of Marketing Ghana, Kwabena Ajikum, also commended Lakeside Estate on its efforts in helping to reduce reliance on the national grid through the use of solar panels.
The evident infrastructural development surrounding us showcases the integration of solar systems in every house as an alternative energy source. The utilization of energy-efficient LED lighting to reduce reliance on national grid, and the planting of trees to offer more shade, oxygenate the environment, and decrease the need for air conditionings in our home. The incorporation of rain catchment, a significant green housing technology, underscores Lakeside Estate's commitment to sustainable practices, echoing a global shift towards eco-conscious real estate development.
The Hills project will harness social and community experience through the provision of recreational centers.
And that's it for business for now. I am Pius Kojo-Baka. I will be back at 1 p.m. with the Marketplace. Sports is next.
Let's do sports now on Joy News Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abla. And Accra High Court has adjourned the application for an injunction on the Ghana Football Association Presidential and Executive Council elections slated for October 5 to October 12. The court, following a hearing earlier today, adjourned the matter to October 12. The Ghana Football Association had scheduled October 5 to hold the Presidential and Executive Council elections in Tamale. The GFA earlier had scheduled September 27, but due to this issue, which is currently pending in court, they decided to move the elections to October 5, but with the case adjourned to October 12, what it means is that the Ghana Football Association cannot hold the elections until such a time the court fully hears the matter and gives its ruling on it. Kim Faisal took the Ghana Football Association to the Accra High Court, stating that never in the history of Ghana Football Association elections has there been the election of the president and his executive council before that of the regional football associations as well as the district level, and that they want the Accra High Court to order the Ghana Football Association to follow the right processes governing elections in Ghana. And also, one person who is interested in becoming an executive council member of the Ghana Football Association is Kwesi Appiah. Well, he has been granted permission to accept the role of a head coach of Sudan national team following a meeting with Otumfuo Osei-Tutu, the life patron of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. He went to London to meet him after the Sudanese Football Association reached out to him and requested that he's made the head coach of their national team. And Kwesi Appiah, who had said that Otumfuo gave him a mandate of steering the technical affairs of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, had to seek permission from Otumfuo before accepting the job. So he flew to London to meet Otumfuo, who is currently in London. And reports suggest that he's had the blessings of Otumfuo to accept the job. But now let's still stay on Kumasi Asante Kotoko and hear from head coach Dr. Prosper Nate Orgum, who says that it is important the media and fans of Kumasi Asante Kotoko gives him time to be able to build a team that can compete and win laurels for the Porcupine family.
We are building a new team. We are building a team that can compete at any level. And building a team that can compete at any level, you need some patience, you need some time to be able to do that. I know the club I'm coaching is all about result. But the result will come if we do the right things from the beginning. And to me, as a technical staff and the police and the IMC, we are doing the right thing by trying to make sure that we put a formidable team. So they have to be patient. They should look at the positives in the game. I mean, apart from the results at the end of the match, they should sit down and look at the positives. Did we play well? Let's say from the back. Were we able to consolidate the possession in the middle of the park? And then when we were able to consolidate the possession in the middle of the park and we got to the final third of the opponent, were we able to create the chances? And if we created the chances, were we able to hit some shots on target? How many of them were obviously supposed to be a goal ball? How many of them were quarter chances? These are the things. And I'm sure if they sit down in the comfort of their workplaces and their homes, wherever they are, and they look at it from this point of view, they can easily tell whether the team is a hopeful team or it's not a hopeful team.
Kumasi Asante Kotoko will come up against Carolina United on March Day 3 of the Ghana Premier League this weekend. And this is our wrap-up sports here on Joy News Today with me, Muftao Nabila Abla. You can head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. And one of those stories would include the Confederation of African Football announcing that the AFCON Trophy will be in Accra in November. It will be here for 3 days before it moves to another country. We appreciate your time.
You're welcome to it. It's showbiz time here on Joy News Today. And some weeks back, we heard and saw the accident of Wendy Shea, which led her to being in the hospital for some time. She is okay now, and this morning she was on Daybreak Hit Show on Hit 103.9 FM with Andy Dossie, and she narrated how the whole accident happened.
This accident, where were you going?
I was going home. I had finished creating the content to promote my new song, Every Man Cheats. And then I passed by my label mate, Kiki Marley, just to say hi, you know.
Is she still around? Yeah, she's still with Rocktown?
She is, you know, just to help her with her content as well.
Okay.
And then on my way home, all of a sudden, you know, I had to branch to my junction, and all of a sudden I felt like a big push, like, and I almost lost control. But,
oh, you were driving?
Yes. And I remember all I was screaming was Jesus, because it happened so fast. I didn't know what was going on. And then I entered into a gutter. So that was where I realized, okay, I think I'm safe. So I didn't even realize when my head hit the dashboard. But all of a sudden I realized that I was blacking out, and so they had to rush me to the hospital. I survived the, you know, nasal bone fracture. Had my face everywhere was swollen. Hey. So right now I'm good. I have a little.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I covered it.
It's covered with a spectacle.
With a spectacle, and I mean, I've for what happened, the kind of accident that happened, it was very severe and serious. For me to be here, it's by God's grace. You know, it's actually funny. That's why I'll say it once again. Those who wanted to kill me, they know themselves. They know themselves, and they're trying to put it on bullet. It is not bullet. They know themselves. It wasn't like a normal attack.
Well, that was Wendy Shea with Andy Dossie on the morning show of Hit 103.9 FM. Well, perhaps you're aware that taxes are a responsibility for all citizens, but starting now, earnings from social media content will also be subjected to taxation. In an effort to boost revenue collection, the Ghana Revenue Authority plans to enforce taxes on MCs, bloggers, influencers, and individuals in the creative arts sector. Well, people in the creative arts industry have been responding to this. Well, my colleague Jacqueline Yawura has been following this closely, and this development has been put in a report.
This comment from the Chief Revenue Officer at the Ghana Revenue Authority, Dominic Adamno Nate, has set social media on fire. The GRA is seeking to tax MCs, bloggers, influencers, and various individuals in the creative arts industry. Content creators are surprised the GRA is drawing them into the tax net. Popular Ghanaian content creator Kojo Sheldon says The GRA must give a clearer explanation of the implementation of the tax.
I don't have any problem with that because before I even proceed to talk about what I'm coming, we do pay taxes on the monies that we earn from the various platforms that we operate, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you earn money, whichever platform, they tax you. So it is already there. And for YouTube, for instance, before you go through the monetization process, they send you tax document that you fill. It is WEN something like that. That you fill, they take your TIN number and everything. And so at the end of the month, when they send you, when you see the back end, you see all the deductions. So we know, we've been going through it.
Oh, well, this is very worrying, but hey, that's how it is. And that is what brings the curtains down on Showbiz segment. The name is Ibrahim Ben Bako. Aisha?
My name is Aisha Ibrahim. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to MC a show and then the GRA officer will be there crossing his legs and waiting. Come on. Thank you very much for coming for this show. And they will calculate your...
Yeah, and you see.
That's how we wrap up the bulletin on JoyNews Today. Log on to myjoyonline.com for more and all the updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.